Hey everybody, we're looking at my 125 gallon native tank, and I made a couple of changes to it. For my regular viewers, you will probably be able to spot rather quickly, I put an air stone right over on the left side right next to my power head, and I spent quite a bit of time positioning it so that just enough of the bubbles would get caught in the impeller and would sort of act like a venturi almost and micro bubble the tank up while also giving me a normal effect of an air stone. Now, those of you that watch my videos regularly know that I absolutely cannot stand bubbles in a tank, but I thought more and more about it, and after the last disaster I had when I brought some fish home from the stream down the street, I put a bunch of creek chubs and a few other species in there, and I wound up losing a lot of fish overnight, almost all the creek chubs. I also noticed that these little brown minnows that we now see swimming happily all over the tank used to just congregate, well, they're still sort of doing it, they used to congregate right in front of the spray bar there, but they were actually looking into the spray bar like they were trying to swim upstream. And I assumed that was natural behavior. I also assumed they were probably coming from areas that were very highly oxygenated. So eventually I just broke down and decided that this tank probably, if any tank needed an air stone in it, this tank was going to be it. I don't even know what other fish may go in here, but pretty much the environment that most of these animals are going to come from. I mean, it's likely that I could put something from a lake in here, and lakes aren't necessarily really highly oxygenated like a fast-moving stream or river is, but the majority of the animals in this tank come from fast-moving, shallow streams and rivers, and they're about as oxygenated as you can get, and I just think it's going to be better for the animals all the way around. Whenever I set up a tank, I really do try to set it up so that it's going to be as best habitat for possible as the animals going in it. Whether I like the air bubbles or not really is not the issue. So that's the one change I've made. The other change I've made is a little more subtle, and I don't know if anybody has yet noticed it. It's actually been on display the entire time we've been shooting this video. And that is that I have turned one of the lights off in this tank. I'm getting really tired of the green algae growing all over this tank, so I've got my forward fixture turned off. That's what the tank normally looks like. So, as much as I like it like that, and really like being able to see in the tank, I don't dislike it the way we were just looking at it. The shadows create a little more depth. You get a little more texture in the tank when everything's not so brightly lit. It creates a little more mystery as the fish drift in and out of the darkness, and it just gives the tank a little more personality. So this is with it on, and of course it will brighten up a little, as any fluorescent light will after it's been on for a while, but that gives you a pretty good idea. And then that once again is with them off. So you tell me, what do you think? Leave it off or run it on? If I leave it off, I won't have that green hair algae growing all over the glass that I always do. Have you ever noticed I never really get it on this end? It's because I don't have any lights up against the front of the tank on this end. I have it set up so that the lid at the top is open on this end and there's no light sitting on top of it, and that's where I feed them. And then of course the center hood and then the hood to the right is where that other fixture is. So if I turned that off and took it off, I'd actually have access to all of my hoods, and then the tank would look like this. So let me know what you think. Make sure you're subscribed. You don't want to miss anything I got coming up on this tank or any of the other tanks I got coming up. So thanks again for watching. See you real soon in the next one.